Brooke's Bench with your host, Brooke, aka Shiggy, and my co-host, Megan.
What's up?
Brooke cannot join us. It's been a hectic, long weekend, and it's hot here in California. So we're gonna roll without Brooke, but Brooke will be here next week. But before we get started, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Hit that like button, comment. We love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts. Follow us on all social media, Twitter or X, whatever, Instagram and TikTok. And our fantasy women's basketball leagues have been out. I believe they're all full now. If you guys joined multiple groups, maybe drop out of one of them. So, because I have a lot of people messaging me to open more spots, but after 8, it's gonna get really difficult with 10 per league. So if you guys could maybe drop out of one of the leagues to let someone in, that'd be great. If not, it's all good. But for the times, we are drafting May 4th. I did put out a poll. People in Brooks group, you guys just didn't want to vote, so you're gonna be left with whatever time we have left over. Right now, it looks like my group is gonna be drafting at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So what is that? 5 Eastern. And then Meg, we currently have a tie, Megan, for 2 p.m. One more person has to vote in your group, and they'll be the tiebreaker. But
What's the time though?
12 p.m.
Okay.
And then Brooke will have the 1 p.m. slot because one person voted. So that's probably what we're gonna end up being. If you can't make it, slide it on your phone somehow. I mean, the draft's gonna be really quick. It's not gonna be long. It's only gonna be 90-second rounds. Everything is default setting, if you guys are curious. I didn't want to mess with it. I know a lot of people play different ways, but we're just gonna go default for the sake of it's gonna be too complicated if we try to switch things around. So everything is default, 90 seconds to draft. And we are gonna stick with 10 per league. 10, 8, what did we play with, Meg? 6? And 6 was hard for us. Just because we like good players and we were fighting for good players. So we're gonna stick with 8 per league. Did I say that or I said 10?
Yeah.
My bad.
Was it 8 or 10?
I think we're gonna stay with
doing
8.
8. We didn't want to really move to 10.
Yeah, 10's gonna be a lot if we didn't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay tuned. I'll post that out, but more than likely I'm gonna be at 2 p.m. Meg's group's gonna be at 12 p.m. Pacific time, and Brooke's group's gonna be 1 p.m. Pacific time. But let's get into the news. We have a lot to talk about. Okay. Talia Scott transfers to Auburn. I think Auburn can be a sleeper team next year. They had a good little push this year. Chance Gray transfers to Ohio State. Keone T transfers to Kentucky. Mr. Kenny Brooks is bringing some good talent to Kentucky. They're gonna be good. This one, Aronet Vonleh. You know I love Vonleh. She enters a transfer portal from Colorado. I wonder why. I'm curious about that, actually. Maddie Westbelt returns to Notre Dame. I feel like we all knew that. She has to run it back with the
they're going to be good.
Yeah, they're going to be really good. Hannah Cavender will be returning to Miami 2025, and also her twin, Haley Cavender. She decommitted from TCU right after Haley Van Lith committed to TCU. Coincidence? I think not. No, I'm just playing. That was probably already in the works. The timing just didn't work out.
I'm still trying to understand why Haley went to TCU.
No, I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, like Sedona got a bad rap and she went to TCU and started doing really well. They had a really good hot start in the season.
What is it? Bad News Bears over there? What?
I'm getting that vibe. I don't want to call them like the rejects or anything, but I like it. I think she gains her confidence there. And hey, I don't know. I kind of like it. Why don't you like it?
I don't know. I mean, they struggled unless they have more than just her coming in. We saw they dealt with a lot of injuries, and then they had to have, the walk-on tryouts and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had other ideas of where she might go, but yeah.
I'm just rooting for the redemption season of Haley Van Lith, so everyone just gets off her back. Next, Lucy Olson from Villanova commits to Iowa. Big signing for Iowa. Kate Pay is the new Stanford head coach, which they already knew before Tara even retired that she was going to be the coach. Into more WNBA news, Kathy Engelbert says the league plans, or it's their goal to have 16 teams by 2026.
Woo.
I don't know if you guys are going to reach that goal. It took you quite a few years to get to we at 13. First of all, there was fake news about Tiana Hawkins retiring. Did you see that? And I have it here on my notes. And then what's his name? Like was like, wait, I was just kidding. Yeah, no, it was there for a split second. I was like, why? Jakia Brown Turner signs training camp contract with Mystics. Also, I forgot to put on here, Jalen Sherrod signed with New York training camp contract. Honestly, Scott Grayson signs a camp contract with Mystics as well. And then oh, did you see? We didn't talk about it. Kelsey Plum's dog class. We didn't talk about that last episode.
Yeah.
They announced the roster. I think Sanaya Rivers got like the top. What was it? The dog of the camp. What do they call it?
Oh, did
Get
she?
the little chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that whole camp.
I know.
Yeah.
They need someone needs to do one for, the bigs, the posts, the forwards. Yeah. Who's gonna do that?
Asia.
No, because Nike doesn't support her. First of all, Nike.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. The WNBA draft recorded 2.45 million viewers, largest audience in its history, most viewed program of the night among people under 35. Which we are one of those. If you guys didn't know. No, yeah, I could see that. I feel like our generation.
I wonder how they calculated that. Is it by like
whoever has the? I think it's kind of skewed because it's like whoever has the account. Whoever's the account is under.
A lot of times, the younger generations are doing it for their parents or
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see how some stuff is skewed.
But I'll run with it. It's a good stat.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty neat actually. Yeah. Asia Wilson was also named one of the top 100 influential people in 2024. Woo. So let's talk about it. Why doesn't she have a shoe, Megan?
I don't know what's going on with Nike. It's just weird, huh? Like, I mean, how many more accomplishments does she need to have to be deserving of one? It doesn't make sense.
She needs to become the president of the United States, apparently.
I guess. I don't get it.
And it's astounding at this point. And you know how like Breonna Stewart had to leave Nike and go to Puma to get her signature shoe? I'm just saying, I know she's a white woman, but she is also a part of the LGBTQ community. So, and they're saying Asia's a race thing. There's a pattern here, Nike. And it's just disappointing at this point because you had Breonna Stewart at one point and you didn't give her a shoe and she was arguably the best college basketball player, Right. And then now Asia, one of the best WNBA players in history. No shoe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm hoping Curry's brand expands even more. Because I'm liking the shoes he's putting out.
Yeah, they look comfortable. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
They look really comfortable.
I might have to get me a pair to check them out.
Yeah. No, I agree. They do look really comfortable. But yeah, I don't know. And Asia's all calm about it on social media, but the people are mad.
I mean, she's gonna have class at the end of the day, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All you can do is just keep proving them wrong. But I wouldn't blame her if she left. Would not blame her.
Yeah, me either, honestly. Okay, Seattle Storm gets a new practice facility. Did you see the video?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Super nice. Super nice.
I'm glad teams are starting to get new facilities too.
Yeah. Well, because let's talk about it. Las Vegas Aces paved the way. Mark Davis balled out for his girls.
Yep.
And look at them. Back-to-back champions.
Seattle's got a team this year,
And Seattle invested
equipment so they can compete.
And Phoenix is gonna get there.
Yeah.
They're new. Yep. So it's gonna be good basketball, I'm telling you. Yeah. And lastly, speculative on the profit or the whatever. Caitlin Clark's gonna sign a multi-year deal with Nike. Obviously, that's why we're upset for Asia. She's gonna get a signature shoe deal. I've seen from 20 million to 28 million is gonna be her deal. There's no firm numbers yet, but she's gonna get her own shoe. I mean, I think we all knew this was gonna come. Nike's riding the hot hand. And it's gonna pump these shoes out. These are gonna be.
And I know it's a money thing, Yeah. She's hot. Everyone's talking about her. So why not let's just roll out a shoe right now, you know? And
Yeah.
that's something they should have did with Brianna Stewart and Asia,
Mm-hmm.
because it would have been no different.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a different day and age.
yeah,
Social media wasn't as hot as it is now
that's
when
true.
Asia and Brianna were there, even
For
Kelsey
women's
Plum.
sports, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just it's a disappointing topic to talk about. But maybe I don't even know. I don't know what else she has to prove. You're right.
Yeah.
But that rounds off the news in our debates. If Brooke was here, I'm curious to see her perspective on it because I don't
Yeah.
know what she would think. But let's get into our WNBA draft review. I know late, but it's here. So let's go into it. We're gonna go over some things. I'm gonna ask Megan some questions. She's gonna give you her honest answers. Megan, who was the most surprising pick for the 2024 WNBA draft?
Most surprising?
I guess in their draft slot. Like, oh wow, they went that high, or oh wow, they went that low. You know?
I mean, maybe Markeisha Davis with New York Liberty. Because I had some people that were still left on the board that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, Markeisha's good, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just I didn't see that pick coming.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I wouldn't specifically say that one, but Nika Mule dropping to the second round was very surprising to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you fools letting her go to Seattle. I can't believe you guys did that. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I think that was the most surprising. And my next was still the draft, but since I'm talking about it, I would say that would be a steal. And letting the Las Vegas Aces get our 3 picks were all steals. Just kidding.
I think the Elizabeth Kitley one was a steal.
That was a steal.
That dropped way lower
than I too low.
imagined.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think maybe the concern is how she's going to recover from her injury, maybe.
Yeah.
I that's the only thing I can think of, especially after the beginning of the season, the type of season she was having. Yeah, Daisha Fair, come on. You guys got to score. Like, that's going to be good. I also think the whole trade during the draft where Chicago traded up to get Angel Reese. I mean,
that was good. They really I think that's.
But I didn't. I mean, do you think Minnesota?
They were going to take Angel Reese.
You think so?
Yes. They were going to take Angel Reese. They knew. So that's why Chicago traded up for them, because they knew they were going to take him. And I think Minnesota was okay with letting her go and getting Peely, because I think Peely does fit with Minnesota better.
The thing with Minnesota, and I honestly can't remember if I had Angel Reese going to Minnesota, but as I gave it more thought, like in my predictions, as I gave it more thought, I was like, man, they have Diamond Miller and then they'll have Angel Reese. And don't get me wrong, Diamond Miller is more of a, in my opinion, more of an offensive threat than Angel Reese, only because Diamond shoots a lot of outside jumpers. But they're still similar players to me.
Yeah, but they have Diamond as a guard.
I know. But, I don't know. I feel like Angel in the league, she's going to have to be more of a floor that slashes and is out, She's not going to, she's going to have to put on muscle weight, because banging down there with the McCowan and
well, that's why they have Cardoso. That's why they drafted Cardoso and Angel, so she didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I think it works out for
them. But
I
guess, Angel has been working on her shots, so
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like it.
A good move. I do like Angel
like it.
In Chicago though, so
I like Angel in Chicago. I think it's great. I think it's a good trade, and I like Alyssa Peely at Minnesota. I do like it. And who do you think had the best draft?
The best draft?
Outside of freaking Indiana, because I got Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I just think that's a given that they drafted pretty well.
The best,
and they got Celeste Taylor. It's a pretty good draft. Yeah, they had a pretty good draft.
Yeah, they did get Celeste Taylor.
I'm gonna be biased.
And I know you're gonna say Aces.
The Aces had a great draft.
Yeah,
they had a great draft. Whoever ranked them, I think it was a B+. Okay, let's be for real. With the picks, we had 2 second rounders or 3 second rounders and a 4th rounder. or third rounder. What we got was good. That's good value, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would have to agree. I would have to agree.
LA had a really
I'm
good
trying to
draft.
look. LA?
Didn't I
Oh,
tell
well,
you guys?
they got those two. Yeah, come on.
I told you guys would love having Rakia Jackson
McKenzie
dropped you
Forbes.
at 4, and you got Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink and
Yeah.
Rakia Jackson, come on now. And then you had Mackenzie Forbes, Megan's favorite player. No, just kidding. She had some breakout. She had some breakout performances for USC.
And
I
that's
think it
good
was a
though.
good draft.
You bring someone kind of local. Come
Yeah.
on, that brings fans. That's gonna put people in the seats. I don't know. It was a good draft overall, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. There were some weirder picks in the first draft, in
There's
my
some
opinion,
players,
towards the end.
the overseas players where I gotta, wait and see because
Mm-hmm.
we obviously didn't watch them really during,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited.
I am too.
It's almost season time.
I did like everyone's landing spots though, like the bigger names. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's a good fit. I was just
Yeah.
saying. And I'm kind of glad Nika Meal dropped the second round to go to Seattle. I think I'd rather her be at Seattle than New York. That's
I
just
know,
my
huh?
opinion.
Seattle only had what two picks, Mackenzie Holmes and Nika.
The
Those are
Mackenzie
two
Holmes
good
pick is a
picks.
good pick because she'll
Yeah,
also be out, but she'll be ready for the 2025 season.
yeah.
That's a good one. That's another good one. Let us know what you guys think. What were some steals of the draft? Anyone that you're surprised got picked up or didn't get picked up?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised Jalen Sherrod didn't get picked up. Who are you
Yeah,
surprised?
I think
Not
it
even
was
like a third round pick?
I think it was a consistency thing because this season she
Mm,
struggled, but yeah, I mean, it has to do with roster space too. I
yep.
mean,
I mean, that's true. That's crazy. I'm just surprised she didn't even get a third round pick.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought she deserved it, but
Mm-hmm.
okay. There was a lot of questions, controversies in the social, in the media. Let's touch on the expansion draft a little bit before we get into other stuff. So basically, the what is she called? The president, Jessica Smith for
Yeah.
Golden State's women's team. So she was trying to explain the expansion draft and how it's going to go. So basically, she doesn't know how many like players a team gets to protect, but basically Golden State gets to pick players from other rosters that
Mm-hmm.
aren't protected. I guess I thought someone said it was 4 players. I guess will be assigned a number. They just don't know what it is yet. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, they'll also participate in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go through that. And then the expansion draft won't happen till late. I think they said late 2024. After the draft lottery for 2025. So
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there. And then they also don't know what draft pick they're going to get or what draft picks they're going to get in what order. So there's a lot of waiting right now, but that's the generalized outlook on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. And then obviously they'll participate in the 2025 draft, which will be exciting. It's kind of crazy. I thought like if you're a new team, you automatically get the first pick, but I guess they still go through the lottery draft. Maybe your
Lottery.
percentage is higher.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's only fair that you get at least like I would say like top 3 or 4 at the very
Yeah.
least,
Yeah.
just because you're building from nothing.
Nothing.
But
Exactly.
yeah.
So that'll be exciting. That'll be fun. That'll be
Hmm.
my first expansive draft. I know there was one back in early 2000s.
Yeah,
Something
I
like
didn't pay
that. I
attention
didn't
to
get to
it.
see it. I mean, I was a child, so I probably wasn't paying attention to that. But let's talk about okay, so we're gonna get into a lot of topics. We're gonna talk about salaries, salary caps, and what was the other thing? There was another one. Just salaries. Let's just talk about it. Because everyone in social media, ever since Caitlin Clark has joined the WNBA, there are these new fans that are like, man, she should be getting paid more than yada yada yada. But this has been going on for centuries. No, it's like 25
Yeah.
years, 28 years, however long the WNBA's, you know, been alive. So let's talk about it. I'll pop up the graphic. But as of the what's it called? CBA, picks 1 through 4, they have what's it called? What are the things called? Salary steps?
Yeah.
Salary scale. So first year 76,000 $535. Second year, $78,000 and $66. Third year, $85,873. And then a fourth year option, $97,582. Yeah. What'd you say the other day, Megan? Who they compare Caitlin Clark to? Her salary to?
Well, I know they were all on social media saying, well, she went first round and Victor, from
Wnba.
from Spurs went
Yeah.
number one, and they're like his contract came out to be like $55 million or $5.5 million or something like that. But that also was including everything, I think, for him. So like their base salary for WNBA isn't including all the, awards or any other media deals or any other deals of money that they can basically, or that they're going to, I shouldn't say that they could, because they're going to make this kind of money, what they get on top of their base salary. So
yeah. And I mean, I don't think Caitlin Clark was worried about her WNBA contract, because this woman is making probably $20 million a year.
NIL deals coming in.
Yeah, she's not worried about no dang WNBA contract. Obviously, there is not a discrepancy. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think straight right now. But obviously, it's not right. Do you know the word I'm thinking of?
Well, no, I don't know what word you're thinking of, but I think you mentioned when we were talking earlier, we also have to, take in the fact that WNBA hasn't been around as long as NBA, right?
Yeah, no.
So they have more people bought into the NBA. They have more sponsors. The revenue of money that they bring in compared to the WNBA is still a lot higher. So we have to take that into,
consideration.
Consideration when we're looking at all of this.
And Kathy, the commissioner, was like, obviously, we're like, I think they said 28 years old. Yeah, WNBA is like 28 years old. And they said, but right now we're better off than what the NBA was when they were 20.
Yeah, so we have to take those accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving in the right direction. Obviously slower, but with Caitlin Clark and with this new generation and new fan base she's bringing in, obviously we've seen the numbers. It's only going to get better. And we have to talk about the salary cap. We have to talk about the revenue sharing. Let's talk about revenue sharing since we're already on that. I looked it up. NBA players get 50% of the revenue share. WNBA players only get 25%. So right there. That's all the women talk about. They're like, we don't want the million-dollar contracts. We want to get paid the same amount of revenue share, the same yada yada yada. And don't give me, oh my god, my phrases, I just can't get them right today. But excuse me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Kelsey Plum was like, yeah, I don't even get paid for my jersey sales or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? That was a couple years ago that video was. But yeah, you know what video I'm talking about?
Yeah, for that.
But it's stuff like that. Like, just like make that part equal. Get paid for the same stuff. Like, I don't think that's hard. And I think with the new contract coming up, I think they can get what they want. But with that said, did you touch on you touched on the bonuses, right? You already went over how like the players get bonuses for being an all-star, a champion, all WNBA rookie team,
I didn't go
stuff like that.
Yeah, they get all of those bonuses.
Yeah, so they still get those bonuses. And the salary cap is confusing. I'm not gonna lie. All I know is there's a cap. There's a cap that each team has to be under.
Each team has a salary cap, but then every player has a minimum that they're allowed to get and a maximum they're allowed to get, depending on the type of player they are, whether they're a rookie, whether they're a vet, or whether they're a core player. So yeah, that's like the summary of it all. But then all players, no matter if you're a rookie, vet, core player, you're all eligible to get the bonuses.
And every team has to be under the salary cap before the season starts.
Yes.
And the salary cap is decided when they do their what's called CBA, right? The CBA. And right now their agreement's from 2020 to 2027. So whatever they negotiated in 2020, so bubble season, when stuff was low, let's be real. There could be no attendance. I'm sure everyone's going through a crisis at this point. Not everyone's watching the WNBA. So it's like from 2020 to 2024, how much things have changed. They have an option to put in a notice. I think I said it was October 31st or something like that of 2024 to terminate the agreement, which would be go into effect on October 31st, 2025. So then they would have the ability to renegotiate. So to shave off those last 2 years of the contract, basically, for 2025, 2027, and renegotiate a deal. I think they're gonna do it. I think it happens, especially with the popularity that Clark has shown for the game. I think they're gonna terminate this agreement. And
I think so too. And I think that they should also consider just automatically not doing the contracts for that long, especially because the
7 years. That's long.
It's the growth we had just over a year, right? I mean, if we just look at last year to this year.
Yeah.
So I would think that that's something they're gonna look at as well.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they bargain, but I mean,
yeah.
I'm curious to see how it goes, but I think they're gonna terminate this agreement. The popularity has risen immensely since Clark. Yeah. I mean, we have to give Clark her props. I mean, she did bring popularity. And we'll be the first to say, we think before Clark, there were so many other players that should have been on this stage, but unfortunately, the media wasn't there. I mean, like, social media wasn't there and wasn't that popular, but we can only make it grow, further now. So you gotta take it for what it is.
It's really gonna be exciting to see it translate into the WNBA season, right? I really do hope that this fan group of Caitlin's, this fan group of Angel Reese, this fan group of Cameron Brink, they all stick with it.
Well, it's like the only thing I'm worried about is, you know how like she's lights out every game in college, but what if she's selling out these arenas right now for the W. And what if it takes her a little bit and she's not scoring how everyone remembers her scoring in college? Like, are y'all gonna just dip on her? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like, just like there has to be a grace period. I think every WNBA player talks about that. That's just being a grace period of transition. So I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work, but let's talk about that part. The roster cuts. Our last little segment. A lot of new fans are confused. There's only 12 spots per team. Okay. And Megan, do you want to talk about, you were looking at the rosters the other day?
Yeah, right now with, initial rosters, we're looking at 17 to 20 people on rosters right now.
Yeah.
And I know they like to have numbers when it's training camp and things like that, because things do happen. Knock on wood, injuries, all that kind of stuff that happened in the beginning or whatnot. But still, that means a lot of teams have a lot of cutting down to do.
Yeah.
Which sucks because one moment you're seeing your favorite players on the team, and the next thing you know, you got to see them get cut.
And there was controversy of Las Vegas posted that they had jerseys available at their store or whatever. And people were mad they didn't have Kate Martin's jersey available. But it's like, she hasn't made the team yet. Like, they have to go through training camp. That's why people are signed to training camp contracts. So they're there to try out. Even the draftees are there to try out. Like, how many first rounders have we seen cut? Even first overall picks have been cut.
So I was reading, right? So after the rookie draft, teams are basically required to do like a required tender, which is basically a initial contract with their draftees, right? And if a team doesn't do this tender in a certain amount of time, then they can lose rights to the player, and they won't be able to like try to re-sign this player until the player already signs with another team or does a some type of contract or waiver or something. So Caitlin, I would say top 7 maybe probably already has theirs done. Because if not, I mean, you lose these girls, but the ones that came later rounds like Kate Martin and stuff,
Yeah.
Teams are gonna,
Mm-hmm.
wait a couple days, maybe wait a couple days of training camp, kind of see what they're
Mm-hmm.
working with before
Yeah.
they really put in these initial contracts. So
Yeah. So, I mean, it's gonna be rough. I mean, every year we see someone, we're like, dang, they really got cut. Like, I mean, but it's tough out there. It's a tough league. It's
mhm.
insane. So if pray,
I,
pray
I
your
really
favorite.
think this is the highest though that training camps have been with the amount of people.
I know it does
I
feel like a
think
lot.
last year, I mean, teams were over only 3 or 4, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it being
It
that
being like
high because I
20.
remember
Yeah.
us going through saying like, okay, who we thought might get cut and things. But this time I'm looking at, I'm like, wow, this is tough.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, the next couple weeks are gonna be insane. We're gonna have breaking news basically every day until
Yeah.
May 14th, the tip off.
Make sure
Um,
you're following us.
yeah, stay tuned for that because it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, that's why they preach expansion because these kids coming out of college, like they don't have enough time to develop. It's all
Yeah.
right, play this whole season, let's go into training camp, give your best, kid. Well, wasn't good this time, so you gotta go. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough business right there. But let us know what you guys think about everything. And I think we should have a segment diving more into certain topics about like the contracts. Like I feel like it's very informative. There's this new group of fans coming and not everyone knows the ins and out, the logistics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually on live. I'm going to be promoting Megan to the contract analyst of the Brooks Bench. So if you have any questions about the CBA, we'll be having Megan's contract breakdown. That is her new segment on the show. So put them in the comments what you guys want her to break down next, okay? But we do appreciate you guys. Let us know what you guys thought about the WNBA draft. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. We really appreciate your guys' support. And we enjoy this, right, Meg? We like,
We love
yeah,
sharing information
Megan.
and making people more
Make it
aware.
act like I put a gun to her head when I said that. Oh my god. I'm gonna delete that part. No, I'm just playing. But hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We'll be back next week with the fantasy preview. We're gonna be going over fantasy related stuff. So if you're new to fantasy, make sure to tune into that video. But thank you guys. We'll be back next week. Peace.